That is Europa. Europa is a moon of Jupiter. Europa is a water world. I remember the movie 2010, and the alien said, you can have all these worlds to play with, but not this one. Stay away from this one. This was Europa. All that beautiful blue color is pure water with some ice on top. All the pink stuff is just discolorations on the ice. Yeah, the ice is 2-3 kilometers deep at least. Pure water. What goes on? I remember when I was a kid, there's no water out there. Oh, we got to go search for water everywhere. There's no water, there can be no life. Turns out there's water everywhere. Here's a water world, been iced over. It may be older than the Earth. There could be all sorts of intelligence swimming around in the water. So the movie was right. They picked this out. I don't know if they knew it or not. You know, they learned more about this in the early 80s. And the movie, I don't know when the movie 2010 was made. Coincidence? Leave that world alone. Europa. All right, this is Rollin Frost, an astrologer living on the Kona coast of the Big Island. We're going to go over this last week in December, the year 2014. It's a very strange time. We're having some strange lunations, and I'm going to get into that more. But first, I kind of want to go over the day-by-day stuff in the sky mirror for you. Help you plan your 2 weekends and your coming week, right? Yeah, the most important thing about this time you're coming into is that Uranus is stationing. It's stopping in the sky to go forward. It's been here before a couple of times. Goes back a couple of years ago. I talked about that in the last shows. But what you need to know now is as it slows down and stops, you get increasingly shaky or rebellious. You could feel weird and nerdy. You could have flashes of genius. You could have flashes of, I don't know where I am. So everybody has a feeling, a little bit of epilepsy is a classic problem for Uranus. It's the shakes, huh? And what happens is you can feel this thing build 20 days before it peaks on the 22nd and 20 days afterwards. But it's like a normal distribution curve, you know, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and peaks out here on the 21st, and then it kind of mellows out. And if this is hitting your chart, if you've got planets around 12 degrees, well, Pluto is getting you too, and that takes this thing to extremes. Yeah, because this Pluto-Uranus square has been going on for quite a long time, hasn't it? And all you see right now is Pluto, it seems. The police are all over the place, but this square at 12 degrees, 13 degrees, has been going on for a year or so, and it's flavoring your world a lot. And when we've got these lunations on it, it gets exaggerated. And so what you get is volcanoes and quakes. Now there's a full moon on January 4th that makes this a lot worse. It sets off this Uranus-Pluto square very strongly, huh? And so there's going to be a secondary kick after the full moon January 4th. And you're going to see more volcanoes, a lot more volcanoes, and more of other problems too. But what's coming up for you, especially on Kauai and Oahu, is this thing is kind of hitting your location, and you're looking at possible hurricanes, at least big windy storms. I've got to be careful about my nomenclature here because, you know, it might be just 10 miles an hour below. They won't call it a hurricane. But it's enough to knock your power out. There's going to be wind gusts, and trees get knocked down and knock down the power lines, and everybody feels isolated, huh? And that's kind of what's going on here. In fact, it's very likely around Monday, the 22nd, there's a lunation. I'm going to get into that later in more detail. For now, what's going on for you? Here's the sky mirror for the next 10 days. And I got all the planets out where they're supposed to be. And we're going to run the moon around the edge of this planetary pattern. And as it goes around, it makes angles to all these planets. These are like the actors on stage. These are people, these planets. Yes. And as the moon goes around, it's your daily thoughts. It's what you're thinking about day by day. And so we call it the mood of the times, huh? Now, if you're on the Thursday night show, and most of us in Hawaii are set up for Thursday night playings, the moon's in Scorpio here, and you're going into the Saturn zone. Saturn is just about to leave Scorpio, huh? Scorpios will be all really happy to hear that when Saturn goes. It's going to come back briefly again next year, so you're not out of the woods totally. But as it leaves, Sagittarius, for the first time in 30 years, starts feeling a little bit of that slowdown, huh? And we're all going to feel some of that slowdown as the moon goes by Saturn on Friday in the middle of the day. Saturn is squaring Neptune by 5 degrees, so we get confusion. First we get this slowdown and we're stuck and we're delayed and everything is late on Friday. And by the time you get to Friday night, well, here's the square to Neptune. Now this is, each one of these little tick marks is 2 hours, and this is at 2 a.m. Saturday, so this is midnight 10. This is about 8 o'clock Friday night in Hawaii, and you've lost something, and you're spilling liquids, and look out, you're confused. So lighten up a little bit. This is not a good Friday night to be drinking. Drinking and drugs will not have the effect that you think they will here with the moon squaring Neptune, and there could be all kinds of strange, bad dream kind of stuff. Okay? Moon's in Sagittarius. It's still in Sagittarius on Saturday, the 20th. As you wake up, you feel a little better, though, because here's a nice aspect to Mars. And with the sextile to Mars, you got a little zip in your body that morning. And here's also a trine to Uranus. So we're feeling kind of like getting out there in brotherhood and joining all the young guys, huh? There could be more marching, for the young guys here, and there's an energizing of the Aquarian spirit, and you can get out and fix a bunch of stuff, especially electric stuff, and it's a good idea to do that if you're on Kauai or Oahu. This is a good, if you haven't already had your big wind and you're out of power, well, this is a time to go look around and protect them, because you want to get out. You can just trim a couple of, branches on that tree, and it'll save your power. Yeah, as that tree limb whips around, bang. I got a tree out here, and all my wires go underneath these limbs by about 3 or 4 feet. So I always worry about it, because anyway, you got the same job here. Saturday morning, the 20th, get off your duff, go out and start figuring out what's going to blow around in the wind, because you're coming up on a new moon that says there could be some blowing in the wind stuff. Starts Sunday morning, the moon's still in Sagittarius, and Jupiter is there. Nice trine to Jupiter. There's some honesty and openness, and we're all doing good. Everybody's kind of happy. As you go into Sunday, the middle of the day in the afternoon, here's that new moon. It's at 0 Capricorn, and it sextiles Neptune. It's not a bad new moon necessarily, but things happen on new moons, Be with somebody you love. It's a nice sextile to Neptune. Play a little music. Feel spiritual, religious, sensitive, and artistic. Open up your higher heart. This is what this moon and this month is all about. Time you get to Sunday night, here's a nice sextile to Neptune. Good time for church. Good time for, those things that increase your compassion, the Dalai Lama would say. And that's what Neptune's all about. So really nice Sunday evening. If you don't do anything else, just read a little New Testament about Jesus. And remember, the three wise men were astrologers. And I've studied on it. And I'm pretty doggone close. If I haven't got Jesus' chart, well, you know, I'm continuing Don Jacobs' work. And I feel very strongly about it. And when I saw the chart, I realized the guy'd been trained in astrology. And it's all over the Bible if you know where to look. You know, that Jesus knew some astrology, huh? I mean, he was just a hop, skip, and a jump from Alexandria, where the great universities were. And you can bet those three wise men, they were rich. They were the best astrologers from some of the biggest cities in the Orient. And they weren't just going to go and, you know, give him a little bit of gold and a little bit of myrrh. That was just get out of town money, small stuff that was portable you could put in your pocket. Frankincense, myrrh, gold, you know. But they continued to support him, and he had a nice childhood. And when he's of age, you can bet they sent him to Alexandria for a higher education, and that's where the missing years were, and why he came back, you know, at age 30, raring to go. He knew his stuff. He'd had his education, including astrology. So he knew how to use an astrolabe and draw a chart. And think about those three wise men, how carefully, you know, the forces of Pisces and the church have covered up the fact that these three wise men were astrologers. It's like the word astrology is like a bad word in our culture today. Scientists won't use it, even those that are stuck with it. Those studying Mayans and Egyptian and all that stuff, they always use, astronomers. The Mayans were good at astronomy. You know, give me a break. It was all about astrology. Well, Monday morning, the moon's in Capricorn, and it starts to feel shaky. The moon's going by Pluto. In the middle of the day, we're all going to think about those policemen and what they're doing to our liberties. They're blocking our liberty and our free speech and our all, etc. And this is the shaky period. This is when it's very likely to have big wind, to have problems on Kauai and Oahu, and you'll have problems in your own mind. The winds of your mind will be chaotic here on Monday morning. So care is needed, huh? Now this square pops up. What you're going to feel most is Pluto when the moon goes by Pluto. And that is, if this is 2 a.m., 4, 6, 8, 10 a.m. to noontime, you know, this is going to hit. And probably you'll feel it again at sunset time. It may have woke you up in the morning. Monday morning, you might have, hope you didn't wake up to a bunch of sirens. Very possible. And the moon goes by Pluto, there's a sense of panic, huh? Eek, a bug. Eek, a policeman. And you're going to feel that on Monday. This is the shaky point around the world, too, not just for us here in Hawaii, although it's focused in on us here quite a lot. As you go through Monday, the moon goes by Mercury and Venus, and, you know, they're not going to help much. I mean, this is a nasty square. Uranus is raging. Look at him shake and rage. Oh, boy, I'm ticked off. What happened to our freedom? Why is the media being criticized over the police actions? Tuesday, well, you'll still feel the shakiness up until the afternoon when the moon shifts into Aquarius. And then it all feels a little better. Here about dinner time, and in the evening, there's a nice sextile to Saturn, and we kind of got ourselves organized. And gee, weren't we glad we used this time period back here, Saturday the 20th, to put all those lawn chairs away? They'd be flying around trying to break your windows. We got ourselves together. That's the general feeling on Saturday evening. Moon in Aquarius, not bad. As you go into Wednesday the 24th, the day before Christmas, the moon's going to go by Mars, and there's a nice sextile a trine to Uranus. Well, I mean, that's a sextile, excuse me. 60 degrees, 120 degrees, they're both nice angles. So brotherhood's going, the team is out, everybody's fixing stuff. This is nice. This is very protective, and it isn't just rages of road rage. No, there's too much brotherhood going on. Everybody's taking care of people. That's what it comes to. The brotherhood kicks in the afternoon of Wednesday. The moon goes by Mars here on in the afternoon also. So it's an interesting day, Wednesday. Get out and do something physical. Continues through Thursday, but in the early morning, here's an opposition to Jupiter, and people are too loud, and there's too much to do, and there's too much laughing, and I don't like it. And increasingly, it kind of shuts things down through Thursday. Gridlock, they call it. And you get to hear there's moon square Saturn, it's cold, and there's places where there's ice and cold, and nothing's moving, and what happened here anyway? Well, there was storming up here, There's this storming period all over. And here's the heroes out trying to dig you out, but you're still kind of stuck here on Thursday morning. And for Christmas morning, do your Christmas late Thursday. Late Thursday, here's a sextile to the sun, and here's a conjunction to Neptune. There's music, there's spirituality, sensitivity, the higher heart. Thursday night late, it's very nice. That's when you want to mix up your holiday spirits and have some music around. Very nice. Moon in Pisces, huh? Yep. Continues through Friday the 26th. People are still feeling that Piscean feeling of here. Heat up the cocoa, put a little rum in there. Here's a sextile to Pluto. Oh, maybe the police aren't that bad. Maybe we really just need them for control. I don't know. I don't think the police are very happy wearing those guns on their belt. I think all these handguns, aren't necessary anymore. We should put them away. Kids will be happier. Kids are going to be happy Friday night anyway. Here's nice sextile to Mercury and Venus, and the girls are happy. And Friday night's pretty nice too, the 26th. Saturday the 27th, the moon's still in Pisces, and it feels like a good day. And right on through to the evening when the moon trines Saturn, and we got everything organized, and we bought the stuff we needed, and we're dug in for a happy holiday here. Not too bad at all. Well, Sunday, everything shifts. By the time you get up there, the moon's already been in Aries for a while. Started Saturday night late around 9-10 o'clock. Moon shifted into Aries. Started feeling a little shaky again, huh? There it is. There's the Pluto-Uranus square, 12 degrees, cardinal signs. If you got anything around 10 to 15 degrees, of Aries, Libra, Capricorn, or Cancer, that area of your life could be shaking. Those people, are not dependable at the time. So this is a difficult period. Here's the moon's going by the south nodes. Some people need help here late Sunday night. This could be another storm kind of period. The heroes are out Monday morning. Here's a nice sextile to Mars and a trine to Jupiter, and get out and do the physical stuff Monday morning. The result of the chaos of Sunday, the 28th. Uranus, huh? There's a good side to this guy. Telepathy, brotherhood, the age of Aquarius. You also feel separated and alone, don't you? Ah, well. It's just the times, the way they are. A little business. Have your chart done. You go to the website, skymirrorastrology.com/TV. You find out particulars. You can get the show there too. And I think you can get the Sky Mirrors at least on YouTube. If you're on Oahu, we got new air times and a new channel. We went to channel 54 so it would match the other islands. And we've now got Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 10:30 p.m. You can see the show on public access. And if that's not working, go to the internet. Get used to using it. skymirrorastrology.com/TV. Oh boy, hurricanes. I've done a lot of prediction on this. And I always come up with the similar times. Here's my 1 year thing. Here's my 6 month thing. And it got to the 12/6 lunation. I'm going to get into that a little bit. Wind damage. What's this? Oh, during December, my special on the incinerator Insanity airs on public access. You'll see it here and there. And this is about the same thing. On some of the research I saw, one guy said that, here's some statistics. Waste to energy boilers, they're called. 1975 to 84. Okay, that's 9 years. There were 24 of them built. And then there was a big bunch of them, 1985 to 1992. 169 waste to energy boilers were built. And people went a little nuts over it during that time, Insanity reigns. And then the 2 years between 1994 and 1996, suddenly only 17 waste to energy boilers were installed. And from 1997 to the year 2014, where we are now, 0. No waste to energy boilers were built. Okay, the same article said a large number of these other waste to energy have been shut down due to environmental, economic, and other concerns. Whew. Okay, some astrocartography here. The December 6th full moon is the big one. Here's the chart. Has Uranus over here opposing. Oh boy, we're all scared of Uranus. And down here, Pluto. The security of your home. So this is a classic hurricane chart. Now, this usually 60% of the time, 70%, these come down within a month. So December, the first part of January, these vibes are holding good. Sometimes they go as long as several months. But I'm kind of into finding out where. And so I did a whole bunch of these charts and moved them around. And let me go through them quickly for you. This is set up for, where am I? There we are. Now here's Poipu Beach on Kauai. And you see 11.5 here. The main action goes from 12.25 to 12:40 here. So, now if I go to Waimea, it gets a little closer, 11:19. I go to Kaba'a, and it's 11:38. It's inching closer to Uranus. When Uranus here moves to oppose it exactly, that's where you'd expect the SHIT to really hit the fan, see? And Pluto's there involved at the same degree. So we got this action going on around 12.5. So I'm looking for where that might happen, see? So there's in Kaba'a. Then I went to Honolulu. I'm kind of looking at Kauai, see? 11:27. Okay, switched over, and I went over to Oahu. And there's Barber's Point. Now this is very interesting. I'm going to come back to this. 12:51, 12:40. I mean, here's Uranus very exact, and there's some interesting things at Barber's Point. Yeah, and 2 refineries. Here's Honolulu, still pretty damn close. Honolulu's going to see some action and some wind damage and stuff here too. Here's Kailua, still fairly close, gone up to 1309, 1312. Hawaii Kai. See what I'm doing? I'm moving east. I go to Kahalu, Maui. Oh, it's clear up to 1423, and we're in the missing zone, I think. Now, here is the November 29th quarter moon chart, and it has Neptune opposing the rising sign. That's a lot of waves and water action, and this was November 29th, yeah, just a week before. So this could be in the mix. We could have wave and water damage, and I'm interested in where that might be close. So I did Honolulu, 450, 359. Then I went to Hawaii Kai, 405, getting closer. And I went to Kahalu, Maui, and that's a little too far. Neptune went down in the 4th. But here's that Oahu connection, see? And Mercury down here is the ruler of the 10th house. Has to do with getting around, transportating, communicating, is squaring Neptune. What's that about? Neptune rules hydrocarbons. Okay, here's Barbara's Point, okay? And over here is the Standard Oil Refinery. Now there was another refinery. I was at two of them. Hiri, H-I-R-I. That's where I did safety. Hawaii Independent Refinery. And there's a small Enerco, it's called. Take feedstock from there and turned it into the methane that you get in your stove all over Oahu through the pipes. That's the gas company stuff. Now what happened is this one closed down. Yeah, I don't know where Enerco is getting feedstock, maybe from Standard Oil. The Standard Oil refinery can refine anything. This one was only high grade. It took high grade, crude and turned it into jet fuel and got a tax break and fed the airport and the military. This was just a money maker by some greedy people, and something happened and they closed it down. The Standard Oil is an old refinery, and it can take crude, real thick, real thin, sulfur, all kinds, and work it into something you can use in your car or something. But now we got a storm, and that hurricane looked like it could come by here, yeah? And if that's the case, and the Neptune comes by here and you get water and wind, if you lose this refinery on Oahu, you're not going to make gas, you're not going to make gasoline, you're going to have a big problem. And I don't know if anybody's watching the store over there, but just a possibility. I'm here on November 30th. The headlines, aloha, they think the hurricanes are done at the end of November. Here I am predicting on the middle of December. So I'm at odds with the experts again. And of course this could be misleading because you read this article and the guys that are talking here, you got to read through the whole thing. Here, page 8. The new norm is unpredictability. Okay, and then they admit here that El Nino may be kicking, and at the very end they say that they've had higher than normal temperatures around Kauai and Oahu, and that's the area that I'm worried about, huh? Maybe we are in agreement after all. Anyway, get prepared, Kauai and Oahu. There's going to be a happening in your Christmas season. Sorry. Aloha. Come back next week. Mele kaliki maka.